Okay, this is going to be a Cera F wax clinic. The start is going to be the things that you need to get started. You're going to need a set of vices. You need a good iron, plastic scraper, groove scraper. You're going to need a nylon brush and a soft nylon brush. We're also going to need a cork, and then the Cera products that we're going to use are going to be the powder, the block, the liquid, and also the spray. We're going to start with the Cera line. This is going to be the powder. Before we get started with the application of the powder, we just need to make sure that the skis have been race waxed with the appropriate wax of the day, whether it's a HF or LF race wax. The skis are scraped and brushed like normal. And if you need to see how that application is performed, there's a video on that called Glide Wax Application. But once that's completed, we just want to make sure the ski is nice and clean. We'll just take a nylon brush. We're just going to work down the ski and clean and polish it and get ready for our Cera powder application. Take a nice clean cloth, wipe down the ski, and now we're ready to get started. There's 3 different products from Swix in the Cera line. There's a powder, a block, and a liquid. The powder is going to be the most durable because you can iron it in, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The block is going to be a rub-on application with the cork, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute here, and then we'll also go through the liquid applications. As you go through those, powder, block, liquid, they become less durable, which means they don't last as long. So generally speaking, you're going to see people using powders for Nordic skis, for long marathon races, and also speed skis for longer races where you want maximum durability of the powder. Alright, so what we do is get started with the powder. We're going to use that on the ski. You don't want to be afraid to use this. You really want to get it on there and cover the base. That we get enough of this powder on the ski that it protects the base from the iron. So we're going to be running a pretty hot iron over the base to get this to adhere to the ski. Alright, once we have that in place, then you're going to want to use a high quality iron and turn it up to 160 degrees Celsius. And once the iron has reached that temperature, we're just going to flash the ski really quick and get that powder to adhere to the base. Okay, so we're at 160, and what I'm going to do is one really quick pass. I'm going to keep the front of the iron up just a little bit and occasionally tap it as I move down the ski instead of pushing the powder. What I'm going to do is get up over the powder and kind of crush it as I'm moving along here. Okay, now with that product ironed into the base, we're going to want to brush it up with a stiff nylon brush. We're not going to brush it off the ski, we're just going to kind of brush it up and get it to stand up. And once we do that, we're going to iron it again. While we're brushing with this product, there's going to be a lot of particulate that comes up into the air, and we always make sure that we wear a mask when we're using this product so we don't breathe that. Okay, once that cools to room temperature, we're going to brush it up again with the stiff nylon. Get as much wax up off the ski as we can. And then we'll scrape off the excess residue, and then we're going to polish it with the nylon, blue nylon, which is a real soft polishing brush. Also, we're going to be making sure that we use our mask while we're doing that. Extra step that I like to do after I polish the blue nylon is just get a little bit of water on the base and polish again with that nylon. And that really just helps get the ski to shine up, polish up nicely, and it just cleans out any of the excess residue that's left in the cuts on the ski here. You just take a little bit of water, drop it on the ski. You really see that water standing up because that wax is so hydrophobic. And then we're just going to polish that right in. The next Cera application is going to be the block. This block is a centered material. Essentially, it's going to be the powder, but it's smashed into a block. It's the same product. It's a little bit easier to work with. You don't have as much waste as you would have with the powders, but you can't really iron this in like you can with the powders because there's just not enough material going onto the ski. So the way that we actually get this to bond with the ski is we use a cork. And that generates heat, so it's like a miniature iron. It doesn't create as much heat as an iron, so it's actually going to be less durable and the wax won't last as long as the ironed end product would. So basically with this, you simply take the ski, make sure that it's clean and waxed, race waxed with your iron-in wax of the day. Skis have to be cleaned up and brushed out and ready for the Cera application. And once the ski is nice and clean, you can take that block and you simply just rub it on the ski. You don't want to be afraid to use this. You want to really rub it in hard and get it from edge to edge. And once we get that all the way rubbed into the ski from tip to tail and edge to edge, we're going to go in with the cork and rub it in and generate some heat and get that to bond with the base material of the ski. Take that cork. One thing I'll say about the cork is hold it nice and flat. And I'm really careful not to get it up over the edges. This can dull your edges, so if you're not holding this nice and flat, when you get up over the edges, you can dull your edges. So just be real deliberate with how you hold this. Keep it as flat as possible. When I come up underneath the edges where the ski gets thinner, I like to turn the cork and keep it off the edges as much as I can. Okay, once we get that corked in, we want to take our stiff nylon brush, scrub that, and get the skis to polish up. I like to take a sharp scraper, just remove the excess residue. Clean cloth, wipe the ski down, and then I like to finish with a soft blue nylon. Once again, as I mentioned before, I like to just use a little bit of water in that final polishing process to get the skis to polish up. Alright, the next application in the Cera line is going to be the liquid. This is the FC8 liquid. I like this product because it's really easy to work with. Unlike the powder and the block, where there's usually a bit of waste, you can usually get most of this product out of the container because it does come out like a Tabasco sauce would come out of a jar. And all you have to do with this, because it's 100% fluoro, shake it up really well, and then we're gonna let that sit for a second. Before I get too far ahead of myself, we want to make sure the skis are cleaned out. They've already been race waxed and ready for that Cera application. So just take a nylon brush and brush out the ski. Take a clean rag and run it down the ski like that. And now we're ready to actually put this liquid onto the ski. And how that's going to come out is simply like a Tabasco sauce. And the more product you use, the more fluoro you're going to have in your ski. I wouldn't be afraid to use this. And then you take a felt cork. You take the felt side, and then you're just going to want to smooth that liquid into the ski from edge to edge. As I mentioned before, this is definitely the easiest Cera product to work with. So if you're just getting into using Cera products, this is a good start. It's also the least durable. So between runs, this wax, from first run to second run, this wax won't last that long. So it's actually a pretty good application for alpine tech events, because if the conditions change much from first to second run, it's really easy to change this wax, put on something new for second run. Whereas the ironed-in waxes adhere so well that they're hard to change between runs. So once we get that rubbed in, we're going to want to let that sit for a few minutes until it's completely dry. It doesn't take too long. I would always do this inside if I could. It's okay to put this product on when it's really nice out or warm out outside, but it's just a little bit easier to work with. It dries faster indoors than it would out. And then just like the powders, we're going to take that cork and generate some heat. So we'll take the back side of this felt cork and polish and generate heat, and that's going to get that liquid to adhere to the base a little bit better than if we didn't. Okay, and just like we did with the block, we're going to polish that up with the nylon brush. I'll wipe a little bit of the residue off the ski. Then we're going to finish with the blue nylon. Then once again, I just like to finish with the water application at the very end. And the skis are ready for racing. All right, the final product that we're going to demo is in the Cera line is the spray, and this is called FC8A Rocket, and it's a real similar product to the Liquid 8, except it's in an aerosol. This is a really cool product to use to stand alone as just a final race wax, or you can use it to complement the powders or the blocks. And what you can do is after you use the powders or the blocks, or simply after you've ironed in your race wax of your day, you can use this as a final application. It's real simple to use, and I'd always recommend wearing a mask with this because it is a mask in place. We're going to spray that product onto the ski. We're going to let it dry. We'll cork it with a cork to generate some heat. and then we'll brush it out. Okay, at this point we're going to let this product dry out for a few minutes until you can't see any wetness left. We'll go in with a cork to generate some heat, brush it out, and then we're ready for race use. Alright, once the wax is dried, we're just going to take our cork and rub it on the base here, generate some heat, polish that wax into the ski for increased durability. Just brush it out with the nylon. Finish with the water if you can. Now the skis are ready for race use.